Hey everybody, how's it going? Today's video is going to be on Hatha Yoga. And so on this channel, in general, before that, most people know Hatha Yoga as modern yoga. And on the channel, I will strictly refer to as Hatha Yoga. And reason for that being is that yoga refers to the union of the little self with the big self, and so to me anything short of that is completely inaccurate. Anyways, so yeah, hatha yoga is hatha, and the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, it is said that Hatha Yoga means union of the sun and moon, union of the Pingala and the Ida nadis, which corresponds to the right side and left side of our bodies. It is the balance of the prana shakti and the mana shakti, which refers to essentially life energy and mental energy, meaning that life energy is what we see. That is the sense that is like form. That is the raw energy. While the mental energy, the mana shakti, mind energy, that is the intelligence, that is the divine intelligence behind what we see. So we know that our bodies is not chemically, atomically much different from a star or a plant or a bear or a cow, whatever. The only difference is the structure of it. That is the intelligence, that is the mana shakti. Manas means mind, and shakti means energy. And so the Hatha yogis saw that in ancient times, as they were descending in age and consciousness was not able to grasp the higher concepts of jnana yoga, wisdom, and the other paths, Raja yoga, that royal yoga, that people were not able to discipline themselves, were lacking self-control, and they saw that by telling them to control the mind with the mind, not much progress was being made. And so they just saw that by acting upon the prana within our bodies, the prana shakti in our bodies, that our minds in turn become calm. So when we do breathing exercises, I can link in the comments below a video to the Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, which is the alternate nostril breathing. And that's one of the pranayams, one of the many pranayams I should say, that involves, or that is showcasing, by balancing our energies in the body, the mental state becomes calmer, a state of peace comes. And so what's happening is that in breath, our breath and our thoughts, our mental activity are intricately connected. So the more bodily activity we have, the more restless the mind becomes, and vice versa. So Hatha Yoga was about harmonizing the body's energies, harmonizing the Ida, the Pingala, awakening the Sushumna, all of that, the Kundalini Yoga, that kind of aspect. They were about that and combining all of that together, and to create a state of peace within the body system, within our energetic system. And from that state of peace, then one could go on to the higher yogas, the Raja Yoga, could go on to the merging of themselves with the self. And so with that being said, is backtrack back to Hatha Yoga and its practice. And so what they saw was that these asanas, different asanas, produced different energetic states in the body, and that through consistent practice, blockages would be removed in the different chakras. Our central spinal system would awaken, the Kundalini would become roused and climb up the spine. And so in this light, Hatha Yoga, what people think are just simple body stretches and exercises, is something much more vast. It can be the preliminary steps to complete enlightenment, because one of the only thing stopping us from realizing ourselves at this moment is a lack of purity in the mind, essentially. That if we describe our minds, our hearts, our consciousness as like a big lake, and at the bottom of this lake, and this is an analogy that I had learned from Swami Vivekananda in the Yoga Sutras. And he continues to say, in this lake, at the bottom of the lake rests the Purusha, which is the self, the soul. And he says that when there is waves on the lake, one cannot see the bottom of the lake. When there are thoughts, when there are activities on the surface of the water becomes hard to penetrate with our eyes to the bottom. But when we still the lake, when we calm all the waves, then the self naturally, the Purusha naturally reveals itself. And so in that same light, through this practice of Hatha Yoga, with the sincerity and right mindset on what it can do, will allow you to not bypass, but smartly dissipate any blockages or energies that are there. So if there is mental traumas, physical imbalances, energetic imbalances, through the practice of Hatha, you can take care of that without necessarily having to confront, as we normally see it, that trauma or that problem. So this is a way to, I don't say circumnavigate, but it's another approach to solving the same problem. It's another approach to healing. And that's what I want to bring light on, is another way to heal. And so, but Hatha is not strictly just the body and the asanas. Hatha refers to the pranayama as well. It refers to the diet as well, because diet is, in a sense, a form of pranayama, because we are supposed to be getting life force from our food. And so in that light, that is energy, that is control of life, that is pranayama, on to a lesser extent, albeit so. But it is inherent within the practice. If we are cultivating our bodies, if we are cultivating our energetic systems, then diet becomes also a big factor in this. And so Hatha should be seen as a holistic approach to bodily well-being in pursuit of divine realizations. In essence, is not about the body and its benefits. Increased flexibility, increased physical health is just one of the byproducts of Hatha Yoga. The purpose of Hatha Yoga is to unify the Ida and Pingala, is to unify our energies at the third eye. And I go into that in the previous video with the Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, that Hatha Yoga, by balancing the Ida and the Pingala, the sun and moon, the Sushumna awakens in the center. And you want to merge all three of those at the third eye, and that's when Raja Yoga begins, according to the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Because the Raja Yoga is essentially, that's meditation. And the Yoga Sutras, meditation and dharana is the 7th step in the 8-fold path before samadhi, complete liberation. So you see how, to sense late in the game meditation is, because meditation can only happen in a still mind and a still consciousness where you're one pointed, concentrated on the goal. And so, to kind of summarize and pull all back together, in essence, Hatha Yoga should be undertaken with the idea that this practice will awaken the energies within you. It will balance your energies. It will harmonize your existence. And Hatha Yoga is more than just the asanas. It is the pranayama as well. It is the diet. It is essentially, I just like to set the well-being of this physical body. And the well-being is more than just the physical state, is the energetic and physical. And so, yeah, I just want to leave you guys off with that. Yeah, definitely, I think that's good for now. So Hatha Yoga, definitely dive into it with a different approach. Dive into it with a sense of reverence for the practice, a sense of worshiping yourself, so to speak. Like, see this practice as like an offering to yourself. See it as you are doing good to yourself by doing this practice. You're taking care of yourself, and by prioritizing your health and well-being, you are worshiping the divine within you. So peace be with you all.